Whoa, now that what's happening with it, y'all? It's your man's and I'm foul shot and just coming from the gym. That's why I'm a little, oily and glazed up as the sun sets, you know what I mean? But I wanted to come through with some quick content while it's on my mind, so on my mind, I got it, right? And this is how in numerous aspects, there's I guess a chapter in Art of War which talks about when you get the victory, it warns you against going beyond the mark or overkill, right? And I'll segue this into spirituality and how I'm seeing this play out in numerous, I guess, newsworthy, trending events, right? And in my own personal life. When you get the victory, win humbly and lead alone. Because going beyond the mark, you then open yourself up for personal scrutiny if your game ain't tizite. So where do I go first? Okay, we got the Tory Lanez situation. Now, allegedly, this isn't alleged. He's been, incarcerated in California State Penitentiary, and he was stabbed by a Mexican cartel member, I believe. He from my last, news brief, he's been moved from critical condition to stable, being stabbed 14 times. They essentially tried to take him out. This situation in California State Penitentiary has if they fan the flames the correct way, this could cause a prison race riot, not only in California State Penitentiaries, but it could also morph and go over into the federal system, into various other state factions. You understand me? But why was he stabbed, right? Now, Tory Lanez was in the industry, but he went against the grain. He had the situation with Meg Thee Stallion, in which now it looks very well likely, if not guaranteed, that his DNA wasn't on the gun and so on and so forth, and he got railroaded in court. His dad comes out and says, and basically blames Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Well, what would be the catalyst for that, or what would be the intent for them blackballing him, railroading him? Because Tory Lanez had found a way to create a digital NFT, a digital product, and sold it directly to the consumer. And they had also an investment and were also able to make money if they had purchased this digital product, circumventing the streaming platforms. A la when I heard the story about Irv Gotti, Jay Prince, I believe Dame Dash, and Suge were trying to get together to start their own distribution label, which would have X'd the record, the record companies out of the equation. All of a sudden, all of them got raided by the feds, allegedly because Jay-Z, the coon of the century, tipped them off. So with with the Diddy scandal, and I'll get to that in a minute, with him, being so hell-bent, and I've noticed this in my personal life, when people have gotten away with stuff, and then you kind of butt back or you circumvent them and don't allow them to F you over, they go at you full force. Now, if he's the mastermind or the catalyst for this now opens Jay-Z up to public scrutiny, because now the court of public opinion is in Tory Lanez's favor, because now not only has he been a victim of the judicial system, but he's also been a victim of gang violence in a state penitentiary he shouldn't have been in, and it was probably masterminded by entities higher above to create a race war where everybody almost unalive each other, and then nobody can trace it back to the originator of the game plan. You understand me? Okay, now we'll go to Diddy, right? So what was that? Yesterday, Cassie comes out with all this egregious information about his sexual proclivity, Today, and here's why I don't hold up. Against elementary and general scrutiny and questioning, what you're saying isn't painted in the same light. Then text message will reveal that Cassie or whatever, said text message in which, I like the freak. When we having the next one? I can't wait to participate. You need me to get anything? Not changing the narrative that she was this unwilling victim for over 10 years in the era of Me Too movement, and in the era when in a gynocentric society, when you can just make an accusation and then you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. Destroying people's we've seen a plethora of situations like that. The catalyst for me getting sole custody of my child wasn't the preponderance of evidence that I had that never got brought into court. It was the fact that she contradicted herself in simple questioning and just general scrutiny. That's it. You understand me? Man, but I'm saying this throughout those who have gotten away with certain, I think it's a mental condition that emanates from a spiritual disorder where, this is the very same thing that destroyed all the Roman emperors. Power for an extended period of time and lack of accountability or anybody being able to quote unquote check you, you destroy yourself. Jezebel destroyed herself going after, Elijah after he had got a W. She was so angered he got a W that I can't remember exactly how the story went, but she suffered a terrible demise, I believe, falling out of a, or being thrown out of a, being eaten by dogs, because she couldn't leave well enough alone, and there was no humility to lead alone. If Cassie gets her money and leaves it alone, the part she played in doesn't come to light. If Jay-Z allegedly just lets him rot in jail and the public is not looking at his character and his terrible track record of blackballing friends. What he did he told him, let's boycott the NFL. Then he get with the white folk. You know what I'm saying? What he did with bringing the gentrifying Brooklyn, leaving childhood friends to rot. He loved this system. And in an effort to stay ingratiated into a system that is crumbling, these people are making last-ditch efforts to hold on to an illusion that is quickly dissipating. If Babylon falls, how much power Jay-Z got if the finance ain't this and people, ain't looking at you the same, because the illusion of who you was has been dissipated because of the age of information. Such as going on with these Christian black pastors. They're essentially a joke at this point. You know what I mean? Because they went beyond, it's not enough to fleece the flock. Then in an effort to fleece the flock further, then you go beyond the mark and you're telling people shut the door. TDJ fake, he's stepping down as soon as this come out, and he faking seizures to get sympathy during Christmas time, a pagan holiday and all this here. When you get the W, leave it alone. Just like me, and I was having this on my mind, as we were moving closer, like a week or so out to the court day, because nobody wanted to see my evidence and still haven't. Here's another case in point, right? The Department of Social Service here in Dorchester. Now, I had these inklings that they may be, I don't want to say in cahoots, but they may be sided to the other party, upholding dysfunction, right? I've been alleging certain things since September, you feel me? But nobody ever asked me, and I went in the office the other day, and I've got evidence, but when I start pulling out the evidence, oh no, we can't accept that here, file it online or go to these people. I filed online, I never got a response. I go to these people, they send me to somebody else, and then when I get to the third party, they send me back to the original party who got me started in the circle in the first place. But now, because I have a court order in place, they're still trying to find technicalities to not give me my sweet potatoes back. So I emailed them today. Now, their technicality was, well, yeah, we see you got the court order, but we can't give you money back because the court order doesn't say when you petitioned. I said, man. And I said, I found it odd. The judge said that these various agencies might not uphold a court order, which is insane in Babylon. If a court order is rendered on me, I got to abide by it. But people get to select if they do or don't want to, if the court is the highest court in the land. And I'm dealing with state agencies that are all a part of the government, right? But I digress, right? So I went through all my plethora of evidence, right? Emails, texts, so on and so forth. So I had now my child been with me since September. I screenshot a text message with her phone number that's on their file, September 15th, of her saying, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to tell the people the child live with you, which then correlates to around about the same time, when we first went to court and she had filed a counterclaim, which was October 30th, that was 30 days from the initial one. So I did have that paperwork for me filing the initial petition and having her served. You see what I'm saying? What else? Then there was this period where they say I was, delinquent for 18 months on child support, right? So I go on K-Cert, and then I get my old emails of my caseworker saying that I satisfied my arrears and child support and all that. September of 2022. You understand me? But it took all the way till January of 2023 to get my checks refunded because I had overpaid during a duration when they're saying I was delinquent for 18 months. So I say, if I'm delinquent for 18 months and both parties live in the same town, where's my paperwork saying, oh, you ain't paid in 3 months? Oh, you ain't. It don't exist because what you're saying didn't exist at that time. I got the date of it saying it was reinstated when she tried to vex me through the system. May of 2024, it was reinstated. You see what I'm saying? And then I have, payments of May, June, July, August, September, and then stop when the child started living with me. And then y'all had it backdated to a time period where y'all say I was delinquent, but the same agency gave me money back for overpayment when y'all trying to make it seem like I didn't pay at all, and 4 to 5 months later, got my license back after 20 years, 4 to 5 months into being delinquent on child support. How do I bypass y'all and the NVA if this happened? So in their effort to uphold her chicanery, now they might be almost on the borderline of complicity and someone making false statements, fraud, falsifying documents, so on and so forth, making false statements, perjury and all this, which I have been attesting since the giddy up of this. So it looks like y'all are aiding and abetting in that. So I'm going to give them a couple days to go through and I'll be back up on a Monday. What's happening? And now I come with paper receipts of the same stuff I emailed y'all with. And if not, and if y'all keep trying to find some loophole, or as I like to talk about, the goalpost movers, then I'll go, and the State of Maryland Oversight Agency don't do nothing. But I'm going to figure out a way to get jiggy with y'all. Because it seems like this particular entity is helping contribute to the generational curse. You know what I'm saying, me? Word up. As a father, I went through, outside of paying money, I went through hell trying to prove to anybody that I'm the father. You know what I mean? Which was also another contributing factor. Like, come to find the other party had my child on Adderall and whatnot. So now that I got this legal document paid, I'll go, to her psychiatrist and all them, eyes the pappy. I want to contact y'all, whoop, the whoop, the whoop. So I guess the therapist woman contacted put me in contact with a person who prescribed meds. He ain't called me yet because he already know he wrong. The medical field was actually the catalyst for the opioid epidemic when they got financial kickbacks to give people perk 30 for hangnails. Like, because you a doctor, that means you supposed to be esteemed when they've all sold out for filthy lucre's sake. But all that's coming back to bite them. It might last for a while, but most time you just can't, exit the game and leave it alone just like a drug dealer because you become addicted to the money, the power, and then I was telling the client this, right? And I don't do it, but at best, if I'm gonna do something slick, I do it twice and I leave it alone. Because anything more than that, whatever I mount or amassed or got away with being slick is gonna get obliterated when the slickness is found out. That's why I see now credibility, fighting the good fight, standing on principles. Here's another one, right? And it's starting to get dark. I don't know if y'all can see me. Oh, well, it'll work. Here's another thing I'm seeing online as well, too, right? The modern woman has gone beyond the mark. Now, maybe brothers weren't as knowledgeable or they used, a man's desire to provide, love a woman against him, right? And it worked for a while. Brothers getting their hind parts handed them, child support court, divorce court. We see all that, right? But instead of leaving well enough alone, they have gone so far beyond the mark. Modern women are becoming not just undesirable, they're almost becoming a plague that brothers don't even want to deal with at this point. Not no halfway decent, brother. I've seen content of an OnlyFans model getting vaginal reconstructive surgery because she wants to start her odometer back over. I've seen content on the Crimson Cures channel, who's very, her content is very, informative. It's like, from a feminine aspect. Women, as we go through, the proverbial winter for the modern woman, where women are coming out and getting kicked out of homeless shelters because of their entitlement and attitude. I saw a woman, I believe, on the Antoine Daniels. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but she got her 2001 BMW repossessed because she couldn't afford a $2,000 car payment a month. I'm seeing so much content come through my feed of women living out their car. Not like, okay, you cheat, right? But they're going beyond it. They cheating in the man house, any bed. You know what I mean? There's no remorse. Just like it's saying in Proverbs, she'll say, lick her fingers or something to that effect. What have I done wrong? These women are not just, they're almost becoming something the average brother doesn't even recognize. You know what I'm saying? And now with the social, brothers are coming out of all that simping and tricking and like, it ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Then when you start getting into the body, like here, with Cassie, right? And they said main man rolled out. But to be honest with you, the Cassie spirit is all over Babylon. I got a cousin, right? Because she likes to get flued out, right? So I kind of like, yo, what's up with all this getting flued out? Like, what is you doing? I already know what you're doing. People say I like to ask questions I already know the answer to, right? So she said, whatever, but you never post a man you with. I already know what time it is, right? So then I had inboxed her I think a TMZ article or something about these OnlyFans models going over to Dubai and getting dookied on, right? For $50K. Guess what she tell me? They will tell you the truth. She said, it's bras out here, getting piped down for free. Why not go over there and get dookied on for $50K? So you're willing to demean yourself for money because the wand of the fornication of Babylonian value system, culture, and society, they don't see a problem with it. But here it is, you get dookied on and the money ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? The money is losing its value every day. So eventually you'll see at some point, like the drug dealer who might, he has a run in his 20s, he go to jail in his 30s, and then he realized he's 40, and whatever you was getting in your 20s ain't worth it because what you was doing in your 20s has almost stopped your upward trajectory in society in your 40s because you have no other skill set. So now what we're seeing as well, let's say, I've seen a plethora of content about this, these 30 to 35 to 40-year-old women who are coming out and just saying, we just want young pipe because, yeah, they might like it or whatever, but they're not as knowledgeable. I'm seeing people say they're going to these singles mixers and no men are showing up. I'm seeing like very physically attractive women saying men don't approach me anymore. Twofold. One, as a grouping, y'all went beyond the mark of the chicanery, right? And two, you never called out the people or the women who were doing things you didn't agree with, which makes the average brother think you might not do it, but you resign the fact for someone else to do it and you don't call it out. So now the average brother can't tell who's who. I've been saying this in the mid 2000s. If you took a woman out of Sunday church, let's say it ended 1 o'clock, and you took a woman from the club who get out at 1 o'clock in the morning, put them side by side, because of how they dressed, you couldn't tell who was where. So in my personal life, if I can't tell what it is, I don't fool with it. You know what I'm saying? That's like me looking at a dog kennel and I'm trying to figure out which dog won't bite me. I'm pretty sure there's a dog that won't, but I'm not willing to chance it. You understand me? Babylon has destroyed us beyond the point of no return. Because I think the average let's say these Jay-Z spirited people, these Cassie spirited people are so far gone without any kind of correction, reprimand, negative consequences for bad behavior, they can't self-correct now and go through years of healing, years of dealing with shame and behavior modification to become a better person. That take work. And because of the lifestyle they live, ain't nobody gonna pat you on the back in this society for that. So they're not willing to do it. Had someone told me what I would have endured for a decade to get where I'm at now, I wouldn't have signed up for it. But praise the Most High, I see the benefit in it now. So that gives me the faith that when whatever happened or whatever isolation or whatever my longing for, whatever, if they're held back from me, I know it's for a good purpose. And on that note, I'm going to holler at y'all, man. One love, baby. Woo-hoo!